What is up there? Welcome to a brand new video on 414 Anime. Now, we recently looked into Shido Itsuka's power, in which he can seal a spirit and how he goes about doing this. Today we are going to look into the ability he has where he can borrow the power of the spirits he has sealed and how he uses their angels. This power is called Angel Manifestation, in which Shido can manifest some of the angel's power from the spirits he has sealed as if the spirit themselves were using their angels. Now, when tapping into this power, the color of Shido's eyes turn from that of his normal brown color to gold. Through the series, we have followed Shido's progression and how he has come to master this ability. At first, he would only be able to call upon the power of the spirit's angels when he was in a state of complete desperation, but over time he learns to control and execute this ability at will. We saw recently in Data Live Season 4 that Shido has started to be able to summon multiple angels' powers at once, which was a large step forward in controlling this insane power. Now, in using this summoning power, it does take an extreme toll on his own body, and the pain he suffers at the cost of using this is physically intense. This is because the power of an angel wielded by a spirit is not meant to be used by that of normal humans. Shido can use the healing powers of Kameel to prevent injury from the overstress his body undergoes, but the pain he feels when using this ability remains, meaning he will be able to feel everything. Now, he can use Gabriel to add here, but that power only allows him to ignore the pain rather than completely eradicating it. And it's not just pain that Shido has to worry about, but also the large amount of fatigue inflicted on his body. Only once Shido has sealed all 10 of the spirits would he no longer suffer from this fatigue. Okay, so now we have gone over how Shido's angel manifestation power works, let's look into how he used the powers of the 10 spirits angels. Starting with Toka's Sandorfan. Sandorfan is a very large broadsword that has the capability of executing both close and long-range attacks in combat. For Shido, he is unable to use the sword to its maximum potential due to the pain he would endure while wielding it, being able to only manage a couple of swings at best before his body gave out. Shido first summoned Sandorfan when Ellen had defeated Toka due to his emotions overrunning at how useless he was in being able to save her. He first summoned Sandorfan intentionally when trying to stop the DEM falling satellites. Now, during the war between Ratatoska and DEM, Shido did manage to pull off its big move, Final Sword Haven Helev, against Wesker with the help of both Miku and Natsumi providing a much needed boost in strength. According to Wesker, this attack was the strongest in Shido's arsenal at the time, though the attack failed to deal a decisive blow to Wesker due to his extensive research into this ability. Next up is Kotoris Kameel. Shido has never summoned Kotoris' angel that takes the form of a badass looking halberd, but has used one of its sub abilities. In fact, this was the first time we saw Shido use the power of a spirit. The power I speak of is the healing capabilities of Kameel that activate immediately upon Shido suffering a fatal wound. The spirit of origin Mio Takamiya actually prioritized Shido receiving this power so that he wouldn't be killed as easily. To avoid spoilers on this topic, I made a video about his connection with the spirit of origin that I will leave a link to in the video description. Now, this is without a doubt one of the most handiest abilities in Shido's arsenal, as it also heals the damage that he takes when using an angel's ability, but as we mentioned earlier, both pain and fatigue of course remain. As well as this, the healing capabilities will not activate for minor injuries that can be healed naturally, such as small cuts and bruising. The power itself manifests as flames that appear over the wounds that it is healing. The important thing to note about this power is the fact that there is a limit. If the flames are already healing a part of Shido's body, he can still be attacked in other places, leaving him vulnerable whilst the ability is in use. Moving on to Zadkiel, the Angel of Yoshino. Shido uses the power of Zadkiel by causing ice to manifest itself. We first saw him use this power to protect Miku from an attack by the inverse Toka, creating a huge wall of ice to take the brunt of Toka's attack, shielding both him and Miku. He would also go on to manifest Zadkiel against the monsters that came from the inverse Nia, freezing their legs to the ground to stop their advance. Next up is Natsumi's Haniel. Using the transformation abilities of this angel, Shido can transform not only himself, but his surroundings also. We first saw him use this power when he traveled into the past with the help of Kurumi in order to stop Origami. Shido transformed into his younger self in order to fool his neighbor. This, of course, did turn out to be by accident, and he didn't know how to reverse the use of Haniel's power, but luckily the transformation wore off after a certain amount of time had passed. He has gone on to use this power a few more times as a way to escape, as a diversion, or simply change his attire. However, the only other time that definitely needs mentioning is when he used the move Kaleidoscope during the battle against Mukuro. Shido was able to manifest the broom and use Kaleidoscope to copy Mukuro's angel. Using this move, he was able to battle against her and utilized her angel Michael's unlock ability to open the seal on Mukuro's heart. On to the Yamai's angel Raphael. The Yamai's angel gives Shido control over the wind. The power of the wind is that great that Shido has used it to blast enemies away who are either standing in his way or trying to ambush him. We saw him use this against the monsters that were blocking the way during the fight to save Nia. As the fastest of all the angels, Shido uses Raphael to travel at high speeds through the air, and as he is human, this angel allows Shido to fly, an ability that he lacks due to being human, but is natural to the spirits. He can manipulate air currents that allow him to glide through the skies. During a battle against Westcott, Shido heavily used the abilities of Raphael to fly through the never-ending clones that were attacking him. His flight speed when using Raphael was dramatically enhanced once he had sealed all 10 of the spirits. Then we have Miku's angel Gabriel. There was a point where Shido's body had overflown with the amount of spirit power that he had taken in from the spirits that he had completely lost control of his powers. In said occasion, he used Miku's angel to brainwash an entire crowd so that they would serve as a distraction for his escape. Now, we've already mentioned the extreme toll using the powers of the angels has on Shido and his body, and by using one of Gabriel's songs, he can certainly help himself out a bit. The extreme pain that goes throughout Shido's body when using multiple angels at once can be ignored if he uses Requiem. Whilst the pain remains, this song does act as a somewhat painkiller. The only other song he used was March, which becomes a staple for him whenever he summons an angel's powers, as it enhances his own physical abilities far beyond that of what a normal human is capable of. Moving on to Metatron, the Angel of Origami. Origami uses this spirit to dodge incoming attacks by turning into light and teleporting. Shido has used Metatron for the exact same strategy. Metatron does have its limits when it comes to the range of teleportation, but it is enough to get Shido out of harm's way. Shido also uses a move called Heavenly Wings. When Origami uses it, it is to fly at great speeds. Shido uses this along with the Yamai's Raphael to fly even faster. He also used this with Zakhyal, Yoshino's angel, in a battle against Westcott. The only other time Shido has used this was during the Ratatoska and DEM war, where he utilized Metatron's long-distance projectiles. Next up, we're moving on to the OP Michael, who is the Angel of Mukuros. We mentioned earlier on in the video that Shido had used Michael before, sealing Mukuro using Natsumi's Haniel. He used Unlock, which allows him to unlock objects or concepts that had been sealed by Michael. Using this on Mukuro, he opened the seal that Mukuro had placed on her own heart. Shido uses Michael's powers on himself in an attempt to unlock his past memories that involve the spirit of origin. He also used Small Key, which shrinks the size of the weapon so they can hold it in the palm of his hand. He did this so that it would be easier to point Michael towards his own head. The final move he used was Lock. Lock seals away any target that the key is pointed towards. In this case, it was towards Westcott after he was defeated. Moving on to the big one, you guys know who's next, Kurumi's Zakhyal. Before Shido seals Kurumi, I know, I didn't want it to happen either, Kurumi had given her 6th bullet to him after she gave him a thank you kiss for saving her from Kotori, though this was all unintentional from Kurumi's standpoint. The 6th bullet is called Vav, and it sends the consciousness of the target into the past. Unlike Kurumi's 12th bullet, Vav can only send a person a few days into the past regardless of how much time is used. Shido would later use this same bullet to escape the spirit of origin. Now, the coolest thing aesthetically about Shido when summoning Zakhyal is that his left eye takes on the same golden clock that Kurumi has. Now, the only other bullet Shido used was the 10th bullet, Yud. Using this bullet, Shido can observe the past of whatever person or object that the bullet strikes. Kurumi had specifically instructed Shido to use it on himself to regain his altered memories involving Toka and the Spirit of Origin. Final spirit is of course Raphael, the angel originally of Nia but Kurumi's upon her sealing. This is the first angel Shido couldn't use after sealing due to the fact that at the time he had sealed Nia, the very vast majority of her powers were already taken from her by Wesker. It wasn't until Kurumi stole Nia's Sephira back and was then sealed by Shido that he could use its awesome power. Shido used Raphael's power along with the 9 other angels to land a devastating strike on Wesker near the end of the Data Life story. Other than this, Raphael is the only angel of the 10 spirits powers in his arsenal that he has never used directly. So that wraps up the 10 spirit angel powers that Shido has used with his angel manifestation power. He has gone on to use a couple more powers, but we will save that for another video. What do you think of Shido's power, and which of the spirits angels is your favorite? Let me know in the comment section below. Now, like I said at the start of the video, I have covered the topic of how Shido's sealing power works. Make sure to click the video right here to find out exactly how he does that. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one. Peace!